In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 college basketball games happening on February 13, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Maryland versus Nebraska. On Thursday night, the Maryland Terrapins will take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers in an exciting matchup at Pinnacle Bank Arena. This game marks another chapter in their recent rivalry, as Maryland previously defeated Nebraska 69-66 on January 19th in College Park. Over their last 10 encounters, the Terrapins have been strong, holding an 8-2 straight-up record, though they are 5-5 against the spread during that stretch. Additionally, the under has hit in 6 of those 10 games, making it a trend worth noting for bettors and fans alike. The two teams last faced off just under a month ago in a tightly contested game that Maryland narrowly won by 3 points on their home court, despite being favored by 9.5 points. Both squads enter this matchup with momentum, as Nebraska has recently shown a sense of urgency in their play, which has been crucial for their performance at this stage of the season. In their first meeting, the Huskers demonstrated several strengths, including out-rebounding and out-shooting the Terrapins. They were just a few key plays away from flipping the outcome in their favor. Although that loss was part of a challenging losing streak, Nebraska has since found their rhythm and is riding a wave of confidence. This momentum could propel them to secure their 3rd victory over a ranked opponent in their last 5 games. Notably, the Huskers have covered the spread in their last 4 games, while Maryland has gone 2-2 against the spread in the same period. So the Nebraska Terrapins to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The first meeting between these teams was a defensive battle, with the final score totaling 135 points, well below the 146-point total set by oddsmakers. For Nebraska, that game occurred during a difficult stretch where they lost 6 consecutive games and failed to score 70 points in 3 of those contests. However, their recent performances have been much stronger, as they have averaged 80.5 points per game over their last 4 outings, scoring at least 77 points in each. According to Ken Palm, the Huskers rank 176th in tempo, which, while not exceptionally fast, places them in the top half of teams in terms of pace. They also boast a solid adjusted offense, ranking 59th nationally. On the other hand, Maryland is known for their fast-paced style of play, ranking 63rd in tempo and 20th in adjusted offense. The Terrapins have scored 76 points or more in 6 of their last 9 games, showcasing their offensive capabilities. The over has hit in 4 of the last 6 matchups between these teams, adding another layer of intrigue to this contest. Additionally, the over is 20-13 in Maryland's last 33 games, including 7 of their previous 10. In the first meeting, Maryland shot just 45% from the field, a figure they have fallen below only 4 times this season. Given their recent form, I expect the Terrapins to be more efficient offensively in this rematch, particularly with their elite rim and 3 attack that could pose significant problems for Nebraska. Maryland also ranks 39th nationally in second chance conversion percentage, highlighting their ability to capitalize on offensive rebounds. With their quick tempo, the Terrapins are likely to push the pace and force the Cornhuskers into a high-scoring game, particularly in the first half. Nebraska is expected to respond strongly at the start of the second half, but Maryland should ultimately pull away and secure the lead for good. Both teams have the potential to surpass 75 points, making this a favorable scenario for overbettors. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Memphis versus South Florida. The 14th-ranked Memphis Tigers are set to travel to South Florida to face off against the Bulls in an American Athletic Conference matchup. The Tigers have been impressive this season, boasting a record of 20-4, and are aiming to secure a top seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament. On the other hand, the South Florida Bulls enter this game with a more modest record of 12-12 and will be looking to pull off a home upset against the highly ranked Tigers. This game presents an opportunity for the Bulls to make a statement, but they will have to overcome a significant talent gap to do so. This contest marks the first of 2 scheduled meetings between these two teams this season, with the second game set for March 7th. Since this is their initial matchup of the year, there is no head-to-head data from the current season to analyze. However, when examining the Ken Palm rankings, it becomes clear that Memphis holds a substantial advantage. The Tigers rank 43rd in adjusted efficiency margin with a score of plus 16.5, while the Bulls lag far behind at 199th with a margin of minus 2.62. This disparity suggests that, on a neutral court, Memphis would be favored by approximately 19 points. Additionally, the Tigers have been in exceptional form lately, having won 7 consecutive games, with 6 of those victories coming by margins of 8 points or more. This recent dominance further underscores their superiority heading into this matchup. The status of Memphis star guard, Hunter, remains uncertain for this game. However, even if he is unable to play, the Tigers possess enough depth and talent to overcome his absence and defeat the Bulls. Memphis comes into this game riding a 7-game winning streak and leads the American Athletic Conference in both overall shooting and three-point shooting percentages. In contrast, South Florida's defense has not been as formidable as in previous seasons, ranking just 8th in the conference in scoring defense. Another area where Memphis is expected to excel is rebounding, especially considering the Bulls were out-rebounded by 20 in their most recent game. Ball security will also be a critical factor, as the Tigers rank 4th in the conference in turnover margin, while the Bulls are near the bottom at 12th. Historically, Memphis has had the upper hand in this rivalry, winning 7 of the last 10 meetings and covering the spread in 7 of those games as well. The Tigers' offensive firepower and defensive intensity should prove too much for the Bulls, who have struggled with consistency on both ends of the floor, so the Memphis Tigers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Memphis ranks 4th in the American Athletic Conference in scoring and is the conference's best shooting team, making them a formidable offensive opponent. In the last 10 matchups between these two schools, the over has hit in 6 of those games, indicating a trend toward higher scoring contests. South Florida has also trended toward the over recently, exceeding the total in 2 of their last 3 games. Meanwhile, Memphis has gone over the total in 3 straight games and in 4 of their last 5. The Tigers' up-tempo style of play contributes to this trend, as they rank 45th in the nation in pace. The Bulls also play at an above-average pace, ranking 141st in the country, which should further facilitate a high-scoring game. Ultimately, Memphis' high-powered offense is expected to be the driving force behind surpassing the projected total of 151.5 points. The Tigers rank 55th in the nation in scoring, averaging 79 points per game, and lead the country in three-point shooting at an impressive 40.3%. During their 7-game winning streak, Memphis has scored at least 77 points in 5 of those contests, demonstrating their ability to consistently put up big numbers. They will be facing a South Florida defense that ranks 197th in adjusted defensive efficiency, allowing 108 points per 100 possessions. This matchup sets the stage for the Tigers to have a potentially explosive offensive performance. I anticipate a final score in the range of 85 to 72 in favor of Memphis, with the game comfortably exceeding the projected total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Liberty versus New Mexico State. The Liberty Flames are set to face off against the New Mexico State Aggies in a Conference USA matchup on Thursday evening. Liberty is coming off an impressive and commanding home victory against Sam Houston State this past Saturday, showcasing their strength on their home court. Meanwhile, New Mexico State secured a home win against UTEP in their most recent outing. When these two teams last met in January, Liberty emerged victorious with a 68-60 win on their home floor. This upcoming game marks the second encounter between these two schools this season, with Liberty aiming to complete a season sweep after their 68-60 triumph on January 18th. While it might be tempting to consider backing New Mexico State, especially on their home court, their recent performance has been far from convincing. Since their loss to Liberty on the 18th, the Aggies have struggled significantly, posting a 1-5 straight-up record over their last 6 games. During this stretch, they have been outscored by an average margin of minus 10 points per game, highlighting their recent difficulties. From a statistical standpoint, Liberty holds a clear advantage in several key areas. They average fewer turnovers per game, boast a higher field goal percentage, and are more effective from beyond the arc, shooting 38% from three-point range compared to the Aggies' 32.9%. If New Mexico State continues to turn the ball over at their current rate, they will be handing additional possessions to a highly efficient Liberty offense. This could easily allow the Flames to extend a narrow lead into a more comfortable margin of victory. Liberty's offensive prowess is one of their standout qualities this season. They have been exceptional from three-point range, shooting an impressive 38% from beyond the arc. As previously noted, they average 25 three-point attempts per game, which allows them to quickly accumulate points and put pressure on their opponents. Over their last 5 games, they have scored 76 or more points in 3 of those contests, demonstrating their ability to consistently produce offensively. On the other hand, New Mexico State has shown they can generate points effectively at home, having scored 70 or more points in all but 4 of their home games this season. However, their defensive performance has been inconsistent, which could prove problematic against a high-scoring Liberty team. For example, they allowed 101 points in a recent game against Western Kentucky, and Liberty's offensive firepower makes them fully capable of putting up big numbers as well. With this in mind, it's worth noting that this game features one of the lowest projected totals on the board. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. San Francisco versus Gonzaga. The West Coast Conference showcases an exciting conference showdown between the University of San Francisco, boasting a 20-6 record, and Gonzaga, who holds an 18-7 record. This game marks the first of 2 matchups in the season series between these teams. Gonzaga finds itself in an unusual position, sitting in 3rd place in the West Coast Conference standings, trailing behind both San Francisco and St. Mary's. This rare scenario adds an extra layer of intrigue to the contest as Gonzaga looks to climb back into familiar territory near the top of the conference. This matchup promises to be an entertaining and competitive game. Gonzaga enters the game coming off a relatively comfortable victory against a struggling Pacific team in their last outing. The Bulldogs secured the road win by capitalizing on 12 points generated from 15 turnovers by Pacific and an impressive 2-3 of 2-6 performance from the free throw line. Over their last 12 games, Gonzaga has scored 73 or more points in 11 of those contests, posting a solid 9-3 record during that stretch. Their offensive consistency has been a key factor in their success, and they will look to maintain that momentum in this game. On the other hand, San Francisco is coming off a win over LMU in their most recent game, although they struggled with their shooting efficiency, converting just 38.9% of their attempts. Defensively, the Dons allowed LMU to shoot 52.2% from the field, which is a concern. However, San Francisco managed to secure the victory by scoring 21 points off 18 turnovers forced by their defense. While the Dons may not be able to rely on as many mistakes from Gonzaga in this matchup, the current line appears generous enough to suggest that San Francisco has a legitimate chance to pull off a narrow victory. Initially, I was inclined to side with Gonzaga, but after further consideration, the line seems favorable enough for San Francisco to stay competitive and potentially cover, so the San Francisco Dons to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. San Francisco enters this game with the goal of maintaining their position in 2nd place in the West Coast Conference standings. However, they face the challenge of playing on the road against a tough Gonzaga squad. The Dons have shown flashes of brilliance this season, including a notable victory over St. Mary's 2 games ago. However, they also suffered a 20-point loss on the road to the Gales back in January, highlighting their occasional struggles in away games. This season, San Francisco is shooting 45.8% from the field, and their defense has been solid, holding opponents to 66 points or fewer in 3 consecutive games. Gonzaga, meanwhile, has won 4 of their last 5 games and cannot afford many more losses if they hope to secure an at-large bid for the postseason. The Bulldogs are shooting over 49% from the field this season and are averaging an impressive 87 points per game, showcasing their offensive prowess. Although Gonzaga's scoring totals have dipped slightly in recent games, their offensive firepower remains a significant threat, especially as they return to the comfort of their home court. The Bulldogs average 87 points per game and have surpassed the 90-point mark in 4 of their last 10 contests. They excel at pushing the tempo, averaging 70 possessions per 40 minutes, and are highly efficient from the free throw line, converting 80.5% of their attempts. This ability to score efficiently, even when the clock is stopped, will be crucial in this matchup. San Francisco's offense has also been performing well, scoring over 70 points in 7 of their last 10 games, including 5 games where they surpassed 80 points. While the Dons may find it more challenging to connect from beyond the arc in this game, their overall offensive production should be enough to keep them competitive. Gonzaga has been a team that leans toward high-scoring games this season, with a 15-10 over-under split in their favor. However, the under has hit in their last 3 games, which has influenced the total for this matchup to be set lower than it might otherwise be. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.